Coach, we meet again.
Yeah, so thankful we do.
Yeah. Okay, we'll go ahead and get started with the Iowa portion of this press conference. We have Coach Jan Jensen, players Ava Heiden and Lucy Olsen. And Coach, if you would make an opening statement, then we'll open it up for questions for the student athletes.
All right. Well, I'm just beyond proud of this group. I think back when we all got together in June, they've just been a really joyous group to coach. A lot of youth, 8 out of our 13 were new, big shoes, big shadows, all the things, had a great non-con, hit some adversity, but they never balked, right? And so we've been having some fun in February, and we thought we were poised to have, some exciting moments in March. So that's what we've been talking a lot about, but March is madness, right? So you're never guaranteed moments like this. But if there's a group that's been working and been believing and been relentless in their pursuit of chasing fun and chasing success, it's been this group. So I'm just so thankful they've had a moment like this. Tonight, obviously, we understand we got 3 big games left to play, but I'm a big believer in to stop and smell the roses. And tonight we get to do that for a bit. They get to do it a little longer. Our staff will turn it over by 11.
Okay, questions for the players up front?
Go
ahead, Mike.
Mike LaPresti, NCAA.com, for both players. Can you talk about the challenge? Iowa had a very definite identity the last couple of seasons. Can you talk about the challenge this year of you guys establishing your own identity? And did that take a while, and is that what we've seen happen the last couple of months?
Yeah, Iowa's been great the past couple of years, and a lot of people graduated. We got a new coach, so we had to find our own identity for sure. 5 new freshmen, I'm new. A lot of people starting have new roles as well. I think in the beginning of the season, we were trying to figure out our identity and had a lot of moving pieces, but now we found it, and yeah, it just took some time.
Okay, we'll go to the right side, then the left.
Chris Magdaleno from the Daily Iowan. Ava, you obviously played a big role today in the win, and towards the end of the third and even into the fourth, just you as a first-year player to be put on the big stage like this and produce when Hannah's having foul trouble, how do you stay so composed and just stay within yourself in a big moment like this?
I think all the reps that I've been putting in the dark have been helping a lot with that. Just waiting for my opportunity and working towards it, and so that when I do get that, I can shine.
Go ahead.
Mike Kloss, Cedar Rapids Gazette. To follow up on that, Ava, and I'm sorry, I hope this isn't too redundant, but has it been at all difficult? I'm sure you've been used to playing a lot of ball. You've got the definition of a role player this season, but has it been difficult waiting for a chance to have moments like you had tonight?
Yeah, I think every freshman goes through this. It's definitely a roller coaster, a lot of ups and downs. And going from being the best player in high school to everyone around me is great. So learning to navigate that and then just putting the work in every day so that I can create that separation for myself.
Jack Birmingham, Daily Iowan. For either of you players, there's been a couple instances, especially midway through this season, where Iowa hasn't really been able to close the deal. You've had a lead, they've come back, and it hasn't ended well for you guys. I think tonight we kind of saw that after Ava, you gave them kind of this lead in the third quarter. You guys basically rode that momentum all the way through the end. Can either of you talk me through how that happened and what do you think has changed since you last played these guys?
Yeah, we've worked a lot in practice about different situations, so I think that's helped. And then all of the games that we lost previously, we learned a lot of lessons from that as well. Ava's spark got us going, and we just didn't want to lose that game, and I think we all came together collectively and made sure that didn't happen again.
Lucy over here. Followed you through the Big East. Now you're at Iowa. Not only are you new players in the program, but now there's USC, UCLA, the whole 9 yards, the West Coast teams. Talk a little bit about your transition from playing Connecticut to playing the elite part of the country with the Big Ten.
Yeah, every game's competitive. We haven't had an easy one. We know that each team's going to be tough. I think the Big East was similar, but this is just a different level, and we have such a great team that we're competitive with everyone as well.
Okay, last question for the players.
Ethan Peter quad city times. Ava, how rewarding or gratifying was it after all those reps in the dark to have the crowd go crazy for you when you checked out at 4:51 in the fourth quarter, and then to chant your name, Ava, 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 with those free throws in the final minute?
Yeah, I've had that happen in high school a little bit, but this is definitely a different level, like Lucy said. It was very enjoyable, and it was cool to see all that work pay off. So,
All right, ladies, congratulations. You're now dismissed. Questions for Coach as we make the transition?
Keep it up. Yeah, see you, bud. Love you.
Good.
Coach, Chris McAleer from the Daily Iowan again. In the beginning of the third, we don't see you kind of lash out the way you did with Lucy and Hannah picking up the fouls, and you had to kind of calm yourself down. But just to know that you got players on the bench, especially freshmen, that could step up when moments like that and kind of produce the way you should expect them to. Just how good does that feel? And going forward, how does that build trust for you to kind of fill them in when you really need them to?
Yeah, I don't think any coach, I was hot. I don't like to get that hot. I'm working on it. I did thank him in the locker room for making that a win with my first tech and whatnot. But I think sometimes I thought if I was going to get one that was as good a time as any, just sometimes, you see it differently than the refs, and I certainly did. But I think this group is they're just a good group. They're gritty, they're fun, they're pretty level-headed. I don't really, I've really never had to really get on them, raise my voice to them specifically. I have, I wasn't the best example tonight of getting composed with the refs, but I told them, let me do that, and you guys need to do your jobs. And I thought they did a really good job in the second half, not trying to coach the refs. So I was really proud of them. I'm glad it worked out. Sometimes you have those moments, and this is my first time in this chair. Sometimes when I've got hot, I haven't really liked it. Earlier in the season, I'm learning and I'm growing in that. This particular time, you kind of take a gamble a little bit. I'm not saying I was orchestrating it, but I was, frustrated. So I'm fortunate that we got the dub.
Good.
Chad Leistico, Des Moines Register. You had a lot of coaching decisions to make in the second half there with the foul trouble. How did you feel like you managed Lucy's situation, and then what gave you the confidence to go to Ava in that situation? Obviously, it was a good stroke.
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I really trust Lucy. I felt like we needed to go with her with 2 fouls a little bit towards the end of that half. She's been there. She's a senior. I was pretty confident that she wasn't going to do anything. I said, I just need you to orchestrate it. I don't need you to score. I don't need you to steal. I need you to orchestrate this offense and just give everybody a calm going in. And she pretty much did it, and we got her out. Ava has always been, she's a matchup person. And I thought her answer was really honest and fair. Any freshman that's been great, it's hard on all of them. You can ask Robin, you can ask Gina Oriama, you can ask Dawn Staley. Consistency is the key, right? And so what I've told Ava, I said, the game's bigger, faster, stronger, and your time will come. And this was a matchup. I told her staff I wanted to see her. I think she's a baby Van Sluten, right? They play us similarly. They're wiry. Grace is a little bit bigger. But I think that's what I kind of like, about our posts. You have Hannah, then you have Addie's size, and I gave Addie a shot. We couldn't utilize what Addie gives you. We needed to throw it to Addie so Addie could score because she's bigger, and if you get her at the short, the elbow, or at the block, but their pressure was so great. So it negates what Addie can give. But I do believe in consistency of productivity. And what I see in practice, what I stat in practice, and Addison's also been there. So she got the shot. We couldn't utilize her, and then I knew Ava would be ready because sometimes when you have to be so patient and you don't always agree with the waiting process, if you get them confident enough and they get an opportunity, you hope that's how they're going to respond. So I'm extremely proud of her, and I'm very excited about the future if she'll continue to work like she has.
Okay, we got 4 in the queue, and that's going to be all for Coach, so I'll keep pointing to you if we can keep moving it along. Go ahead.
All right, Kevin Walker from voiceofmuscatine.com talking about Ava. She's progressed throughout the season. She's had some games where she's looked really good. Tonight, with foul trouble with Hannah, she comes in 12 minutes, almost half a dozen rebounds, 11 points. On the block, from where I'm standing photographing, I've never seen her look so confident or be able to get in position this year. I mean, you've already talked about it numerous times tonight, but really not even going into next year. But how does it make you feel for tomorrow and into the NCAA tournament that you now have an option if Hannah's got 4 fouls? Mm-hmm. It's not like, what am I going to do, or how can we work around this? You've got somebody now that she wants the ball down there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised because that's where I had a conversation before our last game. I met with her and just, continued to lay out the plan. And, she's a real smart kid, highly intelligent. She gets it. And I'd always put the challenges ahead of her. And she had put in the work. She's been working very much harder since the Big Ten started. So I just knew when we needed her, I felt like I would be comfortable to give her a shot. And I'm so thrilled that she was able to answer like she did.
Michael Cedar Rapids Gazette. Jan, I know you're getting a lot of Ava questions, but were you just hoping for her to help you get to the end of the quarter, or were you hoping maybe for more, that she could go 7-8 minutes?
No, I've been pushing our staff because that matchup was the right matchup for Van Sluten. And because Hannah gives up a little size. But if, at the end we had, you could have Hannah sometimes guarding 40 A-rolled, and you could have Ava guarding Van Sluten. And the only thing is she's a freshman. But if we could go and get that in there. But I didn't want to try to score and get him in foul trouble. And Addie's a bigger, she's a known commodity if you can get Addie open at the short or at the block. But then I told Randy, I said, we need to go. We need to counter that. So I was hopeful. I didn't know for sure she was going to produce like that. But I was all about her going for as long as she could because her athleticism and her bounce is really similar to Van Sluten. And I like that matchup. And in fact, Ava played when we played there. Ava, I don't know for sure, but she played the most minutes this whole season when we played at Michigan State December 15th. And she did a solid job. Not like this, but she was coming.
Okay, back row, and then we'll finish up with the front row.
Gabe Baker, Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio. Congrats on the win tonight, Coach.
Thanks.
So you guys play Ohio State tomorrow, very talented team. Kind of just wondering what the keys are tomorrow to beating them and advancing in this tournament.
Oh, man. Jelani Ching, I'll tell you what, Keepers, she's tremendous. Cody McMahon, tremendous. All of them, man. They just are really explosive. They're powerful. They press. But we're going to have to really handle ball screen action. Cody is just really hard to stop. She can score inside. She hit a ton of threes against Michigan State. So I haven't watched them as recently, but we played them, 3 or 4 games ago. But we have to handle their press. We have to handle their speed. And so Jelani got downhill on us real fast, real often there. And I don't know if anybody's been able to really slow her down. So we're going to have to try to figure out how to minimize that. We're going to have to score a little bit more efficiently than we did tonight. But I know those two in particular are really big keys, and I'm probably forgetting someone right now. But when I get out of here and I look at my scout, I'll be like, oh, geez, hope I didn't disrespect them. Just right now, my mind's on the green and white team.
Final question.
Coach, Jack Birmingham, Daily Iowan. I think a lot of times this season when we've seen freshmen come in, it's usually people when we need like a ball handler, you've got a guard in foul trouble, people like Stremlo and Guyton. I think it can be easy to forget sometimes Heiden was a top 40 prospect in her class. So what is one thing I guess you want to see from her moving forward into this program past her first season, especially when you've got someone like O'Grady in her last season here at Iowa?
I just think consistency. I think that's what you want to see with your team as it progresses. But I think with Ava's growth, post players in high school, they really aren't challenged as much. There's very few people that big. There's very few people who are either as fast or as strong. The summer circuit is the summer circuit, right? So you just got to see the consistency. And And I just loved the challenge that was set before her a couple months ago. So that's what I'm hoping. But, I don't doubt it. She's extremely hardworking. She's talented, and I think she'll be willing to continue to grow.
Coach, thank you very much.
All right. Thanks so much for covering women's sports. Appreciate it.